Now that we have everything planned out, both on paper and electronically, how do we smoothly transition between the appointments in our day? Stay tuned to find out. You can have everything planned out in your mind, on paper, and electronically, and still not be effective at doing tasks. Why is this the case? Because of a concept called failure to transition. Transitioning is where you close out of one task and are teed up for the next. The benefit of transitioning is that it helps to prevent forgetfulness, and it's helpful when you come back to finish up an item. It's good to be prepared in advance for what life throws at you. As the saying goes, stay ready and you don't have to get ready. The Bible says, be a wise virgin or young lady. This goes not only for the young, but for every age, and not just for women, but men also. Earlier in the series, I spoke about how I used to be continually late and unprepared for events and meetings, etc., you name it. And now I make it my goal to show up at least an hour early for business events. It makes me feel more relaxed and less panicked and makes things flow more smoothly. Also, knowing you need transition time between tasks helps you to not overbook and be late due to the logistics of driving from one location to another, etc. Now, we know some things will happen, but you've done your best to account for those situations, to minimize them and make them few and far between. Supplies for this video include the following: all of your calendar tools. So starting with your blotter calendar, your weekly agenda, your daily agenda calendar sheets, your electronic calendar, and last but not least, your Tickler file. Step 1, put the appointment on all calendars. So you see here, I have an event planned for June 5th. I put it on the blotter calendar. I'm also going to put it on the weekly agenda, on the daily agenda, and it's going to go on the electronic calendar. When you put an appointment on the calendar, think out and write down what will be needed. So for example, for the event for June 5th, I know that I'm going to need the printouts for the table numbers and the reserve signs. I need to take some crown pins with me. I'm going to be bringing my computer. When I get there, I'm going to be working, so I need to have a change of clothes for the event. Also need my bag, and then I have a few other blanks below here that I'm going to think about what else I need for the event. Step 3, get prepared for the appointment sooner rather than later, and if possible, immediately pack for the event, get your printouts, fill out your paperwork, etc. So again, I have that event on June 5th. I know I have to get the table numbers and the reserve signs. Those are the first two things on my list. So boom, I have them here printed out the table numbers, and then printed out the reserve signs. And I just have to cut them out and put them together when I get to the event. Step 4, put the needed paperwork in the Tickler so that it's available on the date and you're able to pack the bag in advance. So here again, we have those table numbers and the reserve sign. I'm going to just flip to the 5th in my Tickler. So the date of the 5th. And I'm going to take those signs and reserved seating, put them behind the 5th, close my Tickler up, and then when the 5th comes, or even the night before or a couple days before when I pack my bag for the event, they will be right there on the 5th, and I will know exactly where they are. They will be ready for me for the event. And this works great if you're going to a doctor's appointment and you have to bring paperwork, or school function and paperwork is needed. To put it in the Tickler on the date that it's needed, or even put it in there a couple days before or the night before date of whenever you're going to pack the bag, so that it will be there waiting and you know exactly where all of your paperwork is. And last but not least, step 5, the day of or the night before, load your items into the bag and load the bag into the car to be ready for the appointment or the event. So again, we're back at the Tickler. Say it is now the night before, June 4th, and I'm looking ahead to see what I have on schedule for the next day. I can do one of two things. I could take these papers out and put them directly in the bag, or I could just grab the whole entire Tickler and take it with me and put that in the bag. And then pack that in the car, and I am ready for the event or the appointment. Getting prepared as far in advance as possible for upcoming events and appointments helps the transition from appointment to appointment to be much smoother.